Hi crafters, welcome to Creative Moments by G. I'm G and it's Technique Tuesday. Today we are going to play around with stencils and I'm going to show you 3, maybe 4 different tips that I think you're really going to like. Now they may be new or it may be a review, but you're still going to have some fun. So let's head down to the crafting table and let's get started. Okay, we all have stencils, so it doesn't really matter which stencil you use. Just try to pick one that has like some designs on it. Look at that beautiful design. We have flowers, and then we have some lines. We're going to go ahead and make a masculine card as well. So we're going to play with the stencils, and then at the end, we're going to make a card out of one of them. So the first thing you need to do, we are going to just look at adding the design to a mat. Now this is just regular cardstock paper. And there's several things you can do when you use a stencil. Now what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and use some repositional tape and I'm going to just stick this down to my paper. Just like this. This is the first tip. I have selected 3 colors. And we are just going to add our stencil to the front. Now, you can hold it like this, or you can go ahead and tape it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tape it, and I'm going to use some painter's tape. It's very inexpensive, and it works perfectly. Because I just want to get this taped down so that it doesn't move. But you don't have to do that, like I said. You can go ahead and you can just hold it if you want to, and you have a very steady hand. So just tape in a few places. That's fine. And then you'll need to bring in your brushes. Now you can use these kinds of brushes, or you can use one like this if you have one. You can also use a dauber if you have that. So it's really just up to you. Now, look at the colors I've selected. Oh, they're beautiful. I am going to use Summer Splash, Pumpkin Pie, and Petunia Pop. So the next thing you need to ask yourself when you're playing with your stencil is, how do I want my columns to look? How do I want the variations in the color? And if they touch each other, are they going to make a mess, or will they meld into another beautiful color? That's what you need to ask yourself. Well, I think I want my pumpkin pie to separate these 2 light colors. So I'm going to start with this Summer Splash, and I'm just loading it up like this, and I'm going to start blending off the stencil. So I'm going to go off and then I'm going to bring it in just like this. Now, depending on how heavy you move this brush is how bright the color's going to be. And you know that I like bright colors. So I'm going to go ahead and really get my color in there and make it really nice and dark. Look at that beautiful color. Now I'm going to put that one up. And I'm going to bring in my pumpkin pie. So tap, tap, tap. Just going to tap it off a little bit. And just go down the center. I'm applying heavy pressure because I want my colors to be nice and rich. Now I'm going to bring in my final color of Petunia Pop. You can tell already that that's going to be so pretty. Now let's go ahead and do the big reveal. Ready? Oh, look at that. Look at that beautiful color. Now, once again, if you lighten up your pressure with your hand, you can have a pastel mat. But look how pretty that is. Okay, that's one technique. Let's try another technique. Technique number 2. Let's do an ombre style. So grab yourself a mat. Go ahead and use your repositional tape and just lay it down on your paper. And I picked this beautiful design. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. Let's go ahead and lay it down, and let's bring back in our tape and just tape it just a little bit. Now, the colors for this are my blue colors. We are bringing in Night of Navy, Azure Afternoon, and then Balmy Blue. And because this is ombre, we're going to start with our darkest and then our medium, and then we're going to light. So let's go ahead and bring in Night of Navy. Now, I didn't have another one of these brushes, so I'm just going to use this kind of brush. It works just fine. Let's tap it off just a little bit. And I'm just going to bring it at the bottom right here. Now I want this bottom color to be very dark. Now we're going with the medium color, Azure Afternoon. And now we're coming in with our Balmy Blue. Now, a great tip, if you don't want to get your fingers inky as you're moving down your stencil, go ahead and bring in a sticky note, and that allows you to hold it while you go ahead and blend. So we're just bringing in a very light touch. Okay. And the big reveal. Oh, look at that. Look at this ombre. We have our dark, our medium, and our light. How pretty is that? So ombre really is a very special technique that can just make your background pop. Now let's look at one more. We're bringing in this stencil. We're going to go ahead, and this time we're going to use Pecan Pie and Old Olive as our colors. Now I'm going to just take this down just a little bit. Bring in our stamps, and I think we'll start with the Pecan Pie. Now we're just going to take off our tape. And look at that. Now, this is what you call a sliding technique, where you take your image and you just slide it over and add a new color. So here's our original stencil placement. Now we are just going to slide it over just like this. Tape it in position, and now we're going to bring in our Old Olive. And you will see the difference that it makes when you use this technique. Now, when you're using the sliding technique, make sure that you take a moment and you wipe off your stencil so that you don't mix the colors. Are you ready for the big reveal? Look at that. Now, we could have also turned our stencil this way to create a checkered design. But I wanted to keep it in the columns. Look at that. Look at how pretty that looks. So let's make a card. And make sure that you stay with us because I have 2 more cards to show you where we have used these tips to create beautiful backgrounds. Okay, so I am picking this color right here. We're just going to lay it down with some glue. This is a quick and easy card, but what is so fun about it is the background using stencils and the different techniques that I've reviewed with you. And like I said, this may be new or it may be a review, but it's still fun. So we're just going to add this to the front of our card. And I've decided to pick a card that is a top fold and it's early espresso, just to keep it with a masculine theme. And now we're just going to cut a diagonal for the front. So just grab yourself a scrap piece of paper. So I'm making this 1.5, and so this is going to be at 2 inches. So it can be a little bigger. Okay, and let's just go ahead and lay this down right here on this background so that I know exactly where the middle is to stamp it. We're going to cut this off. We're going to put, stay tuned, I'm going to open up my Night of Navy. We're going to stamp that right in the center. I'm going to lay this mat down on the inside, but before I do that, I'm going to add a sentiment that says, "You're super." Okay, let's go ahead and add this right across the center, just like this. And let's add it on some dimensionals. Just cut off the excess. And there we have this adorable card. So quick, so easy. Here you go. Now let me show you another card that we created. This is with the ombre effect with our purples. We put a strip across, we cut out a sentiment, and then we just added this beautiful mat on the inside. Look at that. Look at that ombre effect. So pretty. And then we have our columns that we did. We did our 3 colors, added some cute little flowers on the front, opened it up, and there we have it. Well, what do you think about these techniques to use with your stencils? We love stencils. You can get stencils anywhere. So if you were inspired just a little bit with this technique, we would sure love it if you would share and like this video. Well, Monty and I want to wish you a fantastic week, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.